What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 93 and the very last part of my Total War Warhammer 3 Zatan the Black Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we've been dealing with the endgame scenario of the overlords of Zharr around Jarna grund, knocking out a few armies, 4 I want to say, around the Vale of Woe, and are now ready to proceed to defend Jarna grund itself. It looks like most of the enemy is concentrated here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 armies here to take care of for the end, as well as this little army up here, and this little army up here, just to be systematic about it, though I doubt that either one will present a problem, and it'll mostly be a matter of chasing them down. And now this time around we're going to start off by having probably the biggest battle of the campaign. If these guys are willing, in fact, to fight, it should be a 2 versus 3 sort of battle with Rykarth, the Red, our fire army, in the lead, because I'd love to see this army and do a few more battles as possible. Let's hope that this guy does not run, and he will not. He will not run. And, he's only going to take 2 armies with him. I guess technically we're only taking 2 armies ourselves, because we have a reinforcing army from the garrison, and I'm surprised that he's so willing to do this, because I don't think it's going to go so well for him. Anyway, here we go. I would have loved to have taken all the armies out, but we'll deal with those next. Here we go. Alrighty, here we go, a 2-on-2 full stack sort of battle in the shadow of Jarna grund itself, and you gotta love all of these oil pools and derricks and whatever other heckin' industrial stuff is all over the place. A real fun map to be fighting this particular big battle on, and probably going to be the biggest battle that we ever fight against these endgame scenario Chaos Dwarfs. Alrighty, well, we're going to begin said big battle with bombardment from our artillery pieces and not a bombardment from our spells. Gonna get a couple of shots off onto that enemy sorcerer prophet of Hashut with our magma cannons, but what wasn't really wasn't so much intentional. Anyway, you guys keep on firing. Come on. I'm waiting. There we go. Once again, just wanting to hear a little bit of that, sound. Anyway, while the army abilities may not be what we're using, the spells that we have are still freely available. Ooh, and a very nice shot from that Dreadquake. Oh, these things are so incredibly threatening to enemy armies, and funnily enough, to enemy Chaos Dwarf armies as well, due to their slowness of infantry. Alright, nice shot from that Mega Mortar, and let's see what the enemy has coming in. A lot more infantry, a decent amount of Bull Centaur renders. In fact, these 2 armies together have a lot of Bull Centaur renders in general, so we're still going to have to deal with those. Our reinforcements are going to be on the field shortly, but I don't imagine that they'll actually get here in time to make too much of a difference, as it'll probably be Rykarth the Red's army that's going to be doing a lot of work here. Maybe all the work, if possible. Not sure that it is the brightest idea of the enemy to wait for their reinforcements to arrive, because it's just allowing our magma cannons and our dreadquakes to just continue and dishing out the damage. And while I'm willing to not use our army abilities, as in our Tower of Zharr abilities to rip the enemy army apart, by and large, I am certainly, well, with the exception of the Kadai Fireborn, mind you, I am certainly willing to allow our artillery to continue firing. Wicked-Die Fireborn are a little bit of an exception, I think, mostly because of the fact that they actually fight in melee. And ooh, look at that, pink and blue fire coming in from our various flamers of Zinch on the enemies as they tried to move in. That enemy lord took about half HP damage from these guys as he tried to move up, and the fire glaives together with the flamers will, I'm sure, knock any of these guys out. And as soon as they get away from our own units, blocking them, they'll get quickly brought down, just like that enemy lord did, and I imagine just like this Great Taurus will shortly. More enemies are moving in. There's another Bale Taurus coming in, and it's about to take a lot more pew-pews from those fire glaives. There we are. Turn around, shatter, and break. Alright, still not down, but it will be soon. Anyway, here comes more enemies, and ooh, that's a lot of enemies, in fact, but we got a pretty good range line between all the flamethrowers and the fire glaives, so I'd still like the enemy to try. Let's say, try it, I mean. And there we go. It feels so right to have flamethrower units in the Chaos Dwarf armies. I still can't believe they don't really have them in the roster. And whoever thought that all the fire that we have was enough fire was just wrong. Anyway, here come a few more spells and a little bit more burnination coming in. And our Kadai Destroyers are also moving up, together with the Hushard Stark Ravagers and the regular Bull Centaur Renders to run after the enemy. A Flame Storm coming in as we start dropping a few spells, and our Mortars continue to fire as well. And there we go, the Destroyers wading into that fire, uncaring of getting burnt. Even though I still think that their resistances need to be buffed up, the enemy infantry are just having a horrifically bad time, and just like that, in fact, the battle will be ours. It was actually a fairly quick one, at least from the point that the enemy tried to actually attack us, as opposed to the time that it was just standing there, allowing our mortars and our magma cannons to do the work. We still need to destroy as many of these units as possible as they try to get away, so a few judicious applications of spells like the Flames of Asgore here, or right into the blobs of enemies as they run, will be helpful, and unlike the rest of the battle, we will be dropping a few additional spells down onto the enemy as well as an army-bound spells. Well, actually, no, that's a flame and shadow, so that's a lore-bound ability and not an army-bound ability. Alrighty, plenty of nice work by the looks of it in this particular battle for the Flamers as well. Certainly been wanting to get at least one more big battle with Rakarthan. These guys did a pretty darn good job at burning down single entity units as they moved in, probably a little bit less against enemy lords and such. We can see that they've by and large ran out of ammunition. You're down to only 25%. You still have a bit. You have about 50%, but they did well. Alright, and so did the Fire Glaives, of course, but they pretty much always do well. Damn, 12k damage and 153 kills on you. Anyway, continue chasing down as best we can, but obviously the battle is over. And frankly, I don't think either of these armies will have enough units left to recover or to be able to fight after this, as in we should be able to auto-resolve them after. Alright, we good now? Wouldn't even be necessary, except we once again do have to destroy these guys with an auto-resolve. Let's see the damage, both on us and on them, though ours is probably not all that much. Ooh, alrighty. I think that was probably one of the most brutal killing zones that we've gotten in the entire campaign. And maybe that should be considered essentially the final fight. Well, there's also Nabua heading towards Lothern, but damn. They got absolutely destroyed. The amount of mage fire coming in from all of our units was pretty ridiculous. Oh, look at that! This guy has a bunch of great Tauruses. That's cute, but the rest of his army is weak, and he's in march stance. On top of it, I'm honestly not even sure that it's worth fighting an army this week, and maybe we just head towards the end. I still do want to catch this army out, maybe with Hargrimaz if we can get there. I'd love to see if we can. Also, did I ever get your guys their points assigned? Yeah, it looks like I did. Alright, fantastic. In a one-on-one, he shouldn't have any problems there. You, kill off this army, I think. There's still this army to take care of. Are you able to just kill it for us? Yeah. This guy doesn't have a chance. I'm willing to bet that he'll run, but look at this. This guy's got a bunch of basic dwarf warriors and a bunch of hobgobs. There is nothing he could do about any of this. Auto-resolve this, I think. Yeah, decisive victory and low casualties. By themselves, these armies are too weak to be worth fighting. So take that out, and then take out the rest of the remnants of the forces that remain here. Auto-resolve. Alrighty, and you're going far, you sure are. Let's see, Logazor the Dominator, go here. I like the name, but yeah. And Gilbers, will you run from Logazor? Yes, indeed you will. Okay, well. Good luck to you, sir. Although, you know what, I kind of... I know this is not necessary since we fought this already, but maybe we send you in just because I want to kind of use this range army again. It is the finale after all, why not have an extra little battle? Here we go. Alrighty, here we go, battle 2 of the episode, and I'm glad that we're the finale, or rather, and I'm glad that the Warplog Jezzails will get to play a little bit. What I am also, however, kind of wary of is the fact that we're definitely going to be getting a taste of our own medicine here, as the enemy has Dreadquake mortars, an Iron Demon with a Dreadquake mortar in particular, and that will be the first target of the Jezzails in the hopes that we can bring it down before it kills off too many of our infantry. Also loving the fact that this is a snowy terrain so that we can see the fiery units and our own units and the Jezzails all working quite well. Alright, here comes that next Dreadquake mortar hit on our little ratlings, and that one is going to be, well, pretty much dead center of this one unit, which is down now to half HP. Fortunately, the enemy Dreadquake mortar itself is down to a little bit below half as well. And we could have probably dropped our flyers on it, but we're going to just let the Jezzails do their work. We're at the point, obviously, in the campaign, being the finale and all, where we don't really care about our casualties and are just looking for a few good fights. Alright, come on, a few more shots, and down goes the enemy train. Oh, lovely. We're the only ones that are allowed trains. We are, however, going to be popping a few spells on the enemy with the, we will summon the Kadai Fireborn. And there we go. And that looks pretty darn painful. And I think I decided for whatever reason in this particular battle that I would be using spells, just maybe not all that much. Not that they were really needed, but the terrain was kind of working against us here, and yeah. It's okay, we'll have plenty more battles in this particular fight where we don't bother using army band abilities. Here comes some Wolf Raiders, but they will get knocked out by those Jezzails. More Wolf Raiders going to rush right into those Infernal Guard. But I don't think they're going to win in melee or in range. Ooh, lovely Flames of Asgore in the background coming down on those Gobos as they rush forward, only to get gunned down by those pew-pew lasers. And they will stop right before, or they break rather, right before, and they get to our battle lines. Fireglaives and Jezzails continue to fire, knocking enemies out and shooting them in the back as they try to run, and just like that, extremely quickly, the enemy army will shatter. Alrighty, well, we'll just kill off as many of the enemy as we can once more. Definitely one of the quicker battles, but yeah, we at least took damage this time as the Dreadquake Mega Mortar did, or regular mortar, it did manage to take out about half, or exactly, or nearly half, of the Warplog Jezzails here. Yeah, well done to it. Alrighty, and there we go. Decisive victory for the Jezzail army, and considering they did what they were supposed to, and even got the a few kills on infantry, not just the big targets like they did on that train, I'm happy with the result. Alrighty, fun little fight, certainly not a difficult one, but I love seeing the Warplog Jezzails fire together with the Infernal Fireglaves. I do wish that we had had access, I should say, to them earlier throughout the campaign, but obviously, well, we tried, but the Jerkwad Skaven, or the Scryer Skaven, did betray us that one time and destroyed our outpost. And by betray us, I mean refuse to continue being our allies due to a war declaration. Anyway, we're going to retake our territories here. Got a Fencer's Blades, not that we care about it. Grab the, I don't remember if this was an outpost or whatever, but I guess it doesn't really matter. There we go. That's reclaimed. You are going to kill Carchadon, or Carchadon rather, the Vicious, and we're going to do something. There we go. Doesn't matter. And now we have the Falls of Doom. I have to wonder whether this guy will stay here or will run. I mean, I guess he could run up this way, but, well, I imagine that he's pretty screwed. There we go. Jarna Grund nearly reclaimed. Just the one territory left. We also want to continue moving Nabua, though I guess that'll wait until next turn. And, man, there's so much stuff on the map that my PC is just super laggy trying to move around the map. So sorry about all the dropped frames, but you know, it's gotten to that point in the game. Anyway, I'm gonna hunt down you and hopefully get Nabua to Lothar and finish up the campaign. Otherwise, we're gonna end the turn and see if we can't hunt those last enemies down. Alright, Recruiter Hammerfist moving around. We don't need to actually recruit anybody else. And who the heck is Raiders in Nas? And why is he moving? Huh, must have been something I did that I forgot about. Alrighty, and I guess by the looks of it, Zatan will not be getting the final fight in the campaign, but honestly, he got some very, very good fights throughout the campaign, and really nobody stands any kind of chance against his army with the 4 trains that he has. It's already pretty ridiculous, and he has gotten more screen time than anybody else, so I think it's fine to give Nabua the final battle, especially since Zatan is now so far away from any enemies that there's no real point. Are you trying to get peace now? Continue fighting Chaos. And oh, did he manage to take out a tier 5 Fortress of Chaos? Well, good job to him. What is this? You're actually going to attack us. Oh. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, especially considering this army is damaged, but you don't actually have a chance here. Damn, I was going to use the other army to do this, but I guess since we've been using an all-range army anyway, it doesn't really matter. And look at that, he has a bunch of fodder with him that he apparently built over one turn. And good job to you, Orc Laborers. Just like that Orky rebellion that we saw early on. I guess this is an Overlords of Zharduk rebellion. Fascinating. Fascinating times. Anyway, here we go. They have no flyers, so we have no need of that Scarecrow pendant. Let's take out this last army. In our territory, anyway. Alright, here we go, round 3 or battle 3 of the finale. Out of how many battles, I am not quite sure yet, but at the very least, probably a few more. This one just for fun, but the very last battle for Rykarth the Red, as he has led the clearing of the defenses around, or the enemies that have spawned around Jarna grund. It's also a very, very nice looking battle. Look at that. This is a pretty cool one. The oily polluted water, the lava flowing into it as well. I wish we had seen this this particular map a little bit more often, or they would have used this sort of thing a little bit more often with the lava everywhere and the polluted water in actual battle maps. But once again, to be fair, other than the endgame scenario here, we haven't been fighting in Jarna grund territory now or the Darklands territory for a long, long time. Anyway, we are going to march forward and we're going to get our artillery pieces in position. Looks like the enemy wants to actually wait for its pile of rebellious orc workers to get on the field and reinforce them, maybe to run ahead of their army in order to do damage. But well, we'll see how that works out for them. Especially if they want to wait while our artillery pieces fire. We've hidden, well, sort of hidden, just put, I suppose, our flamers into the trees here. I believe that they're large enough models that they can't actually hide in trees. And ooh, hello. There's the enemy's own mortars firing back at us. Once again, I'm gonna have a little bit of a taste of our own medicine as the enemy fires 2 mega mortar shells, or dreadquake mortar shells rather, and we fire 2 dreadquake shells right back at them. And that's said, the first shell will hit, looks like it was aiming for the Flamers of Tzeentch, but they do have access to their barrier, and the other will hit our Kedai Destroyers, who take basically no damage from the quake as well, so really only a threat to our infantry. The enemy reinforcements are here, and we've dropped a few spells on the enemy, not army-bound abilities, just regular spells. It'll be a good old-fashioned clash. Let's just say that the spells from the Tower of Zharr are no longer active. That is a lot of rebellious orc workers, however, and we should be able to hit them real nice with one of the Dreadquakes if they can manage to hit this far. Though, of course, we will continue to take shots ourselves. We're going to try to knock out those enemy Dreadquakes as soon as we can. There we go. Finally, the enemies have started to move in range of our own Dreadquakes. Would have been nice to hit them dead center into that mass of orcs, but obviously from our current positions, our artillery pieces aren't actually able to reach that far. Not that that's a big issue. As the enemy moves closer, they'll still take plenty of shots, and unlike our Kedai, these poor orc workers are going to lose, I don't know, dozens, if not 100 units to every shot from a Dreadquake. And alright, the enemies are hitting back, but once again, they are still trying to aim for our Kedai Destroyers. Looks like, yeah, we basically deployed our Infernal Guard just a little bit too far from the enemy and just back them off continuously if the enemy Dreadquakes approach, allowing us to hit the enemy infantry, but not allowing them to hit ours. Still, it still makes for a pretty cool exchange with the enemy having its own trains to deal with us. And frankly, let's face it, the facing off against enemy Dreadquake trains is more threatening than anything that an OG Dwarfs army, a basic Dwarfs army, which we were expecting for the endgame scenario, would have had. I'm a lot more wary of it than anything they would have had. And yeah, they could have had flame cannons, which are scary as well, but flame cannons have a very short range, and and basically no movement speed whatsoever, unlike the trains. Over on the flanks, it looks like some enemy Wolf Raiders have decided to mosey on in, but not for long, as the Flamers have caught them and ripped them apart, both of the Exalted and the regular variety. I'm going to start sending our Kedai Destroyers forward as well, together with our Fire Glaives, and it's time to join the fight proper. Once again, no using the army abilities, with the exception of Summon Kedai Fireborn just to distract that Iron Demon. That's the only one that I make the exception of, as in no Dreadquake Mega Mortar Barrage, but yes to the Kedai Fireborn. Alright, lasers, it's time to pew your way to victory. An enemy Kedai Destroyer also moving in. Too bad we don't have the the Ratlings to take care of it this time, as in the Jezzails, not the Ratling guns. Ooh, a nice hit from the enemy Dreadquake Mortar, smashing into one of our units of Infernal Guard, and the enemy will continue that for as long as it can. And there we go, we're going to try to get our Lord to actually kill off this Iron Demon Dreadquake, or at the very least to distract and prevent it from firing while we dish out damage to the rest of his army. I gotta love these trains. I once again, I really like this color scheme that they've got. It's so bright. Alright, I just want to compare real quick. I mean, I know that we don't have the train aspect, but yeah. Yeah, we're missing a little bit of a lighter accent on them. We have the dark blue and gold, which is a fantastic color scheme, but once again, I really like that of the Overlords of Zharr. And yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm choosing to waste my time talking about on. Anyway, with that, the Dreadquake Mortar will get brought down, but let's check back on where the rest of the action is happening. Those Kadai destroyers are just towering over the enemy infantry, all the while our artillery and our gunners hit in the background. Looks like the enemy Lord is trying to go after our Kadai destroyer and has dropped it to below half HP. The Kadai will also be blocking off the enemy infantry while our flamers start doing the work. If anything, I'm surprised that I know I've talked about how I feel like there should be a flamer sort of unit for the Chaos Dwarfs, because you know that with all the industry they have, they'd be able to come up with a flamethrower unit, especially if Iron Drakes exist. They'd probably take one look at it and come up with something. Anyway, it looks like the enemy's destroyer has been brought down, and now we're moving towards it. Mortar fire still happening. The enemy Dreadquakes, I believe. Oh, actually, one is still alive, but the first one has been destroyed, though that one has been obviously dishing out damage to our poor Fireglaves. Look at that. I don't think any of our Fireglaves in any battle coming up to this so far have taken nearly as much damage as these guys have, and that's the taste of our own medicine for you. Also, look at that. Our Kadai destroyers waded into the battle. They took quite a bit of damage as well. The one that was fighting the enemy lords down to about 15% HP. This one is as well, and we're going to have to be careful with them, but it does look like this battle is about to go our way anyway. And did you just lift off? Where are you going, buddy? You sure you want to do that? We have Exalted Flamers up there and regular Flamers. You will die in a sea of fire. Multicolored Zenitian fire as well. I'm glad that we got a lot of action in this particular battle for our Flamers. One of the reasons I wanted one more fight for Karth here is just because we haven't seen these guys enough. Oh, and what I was saying is, man, regarding the flamethrower units, maybe, I don't know, maybe Kadai units that have flamethrower aspect to them as well, like a ranged fireborn ability, kind of similar to flamers, but Kadai, they're also demons, they also use flamers. I just want a flamethrower unit, guys, that's all I want. Why won't they give it to me? Anyway, a last few shots of those Fireglaves firing. I will never get tired of seeing a gun line of blunderbusses and a gun line of Fireglaves. I think they might be one of the most fun, like the Fireglaves and the blunderbusses, most fun range units to watch do their thing. The only ones that are more fun to watch than them, I think, are the Ratling guns. So pretty up there. Anyway, it looks like they are no longer in range. The rest of the enemy army destroyed. We do our best to chase them down. And a unit has been... Oh no, it's just summoned Kadai Fireborn. I got worried for a second that one of our heavily damaged Kadai destroyers got too heavily damaged. But anyway, it looks like the victory is ours, 1-2, but Rykarth takes it home, and we will not be seeing you again, so well done, buddy. Alrighty, those poor fools just sacrificed their last remaining army in the vicinity of Jarna Grund to Rykarth the Red, so we're nearly done here. Let's see, Confederation between Zatan and Tyrannoc. Oh, that's interesting. I guess one of them got very badly damaged while things were happening. Now, Oh, are this guy sailing out? Oh, that's interesting. That's tremendously interesting because Kigel is trying to hunt you down, so head over there, Kigel. Maybe you'll be able to take him out in the field. How are you doing, Silostra? Oh, you're failing to take Karan. What the heck? She sacked it, killed the units there, and now she's sieging it rather than occupying it. Yeah, okay, I know that bug. I've definitely seen the AI do that many a time. And it looks like a lot of our allies are heading up to Lothar, and hopefully they don't take it before we get there with Nabua, though he's got a long way to travel. You are better off in march stance by the looks of it, so keep going in march stance, and damn, is it a long way to travel. We could probably speed it up by taking Brienne with this guy if we really wanted to, or with the Yobaz maybe, so that he can sail out. So yeah, go to Brienne. If none of our allies take it, then you can take it. Now let's finish off with the rest of these guys. Oh, look at that little army running away! Isn't that cute? Right, Karth. Well, since you did all the work here, you're gonna take them out for good. Auto-resolve, and Banner of Eternal Flame, and occupy as, I don't remember what this place was, just occupy this factory, not that it matters. Just to double check our objectives here, this is still checked, yes, ultimate campaign victory was achieved, so, yeah. The goal was to retake this, and we had already had that, which is a very bizarre turn of events, but, well, whatever. You cannot catch this guy, I have no idea where he's going, but, well, I also don't think he can run forever. And he will, oh, they have no home region now either. Also, did you set sail? Oh, huh, that's interesting. We won't be able to catch you that way. Where will you go then? Where will you go? You know what? These guys, are they going after him? Oh, you're not actually at war with him, the Skaven are, though. Now, would you be willing to join war against the overlords of Zhar? No, you would not. Really? Are you that afraid of them? Is this guy really going to be the one that we're going to have a difficult time chasing down? Alrighty, well, go here and see where he goes next turn. Hopefully, oh, the elves are coming here too. But, well, I guess at this point in the game, we don't really care. Zatan, you have nothing else that you can do. Just out of curiosity, we could send you out here. Is this the only drill? There's another drill out here, but there's no drill in Ulthuan, unfortunately, which would have been real swell. Alright, go into this drill. I don't know, just in case that guy runs and we need to chase him down, because, well, Zatan is nearby. Not that anybody stands any kind of chance at fighting Zatan's army, but we still need to work on chasing that guy down. Anyway, I guess that's another end turn while we chase down the remnants of these armies here, since there's very few left. Gotta get that last battle going after all. Alright, Nabua. And, oh, okay, everybody needs to stop moving and taking time during the end turns. Nagaron's still reasonably strong. Frankly, I'm surprised all of our allies haven't declared war on Nagaron as yet, but I guess the enemy is strong enough. And, hey, we got a underway interception. There's no need to fight this army, it's pathetically weak. It's already been basically destroyed, and Scav has all of those hell cannons that we saw relatively recently, and they would have just destroyed them. Let's see. This will be the fourth, I want to say, battle over this episode. Man, this episode is going to need a lot, and I mean a lot of editing, but it is what it is. Generally speaking, these final episodes do. And you're going to destroy yourselves. Perfect, which means we don't need to deal with you. And then there was one, unless I'm mistaken. Just this one. Got another one of these Breath of Hatred things. There's this little army. And Kigel, hopefully you can hunt it down. I wonder if it'll head directly towards you or ignore you. Also, looks like these guys are actually doing a little bit of work in attacking the elves. Hey. You leave Ulthuan alone. Where is Nabua? Alright, there he is. Still go faster via march stance? Yeah, by the looks of it, you will. Okie dokie. You go there, then... Oh. You know what? maybe this will be a nice little final fight for you. Ooh, look at that. It's nothing but Phoenix Guard. Okay, sure, sure. If you guys want to fight Scaff, he'd be willing if this is where you're going. This certainly does look like a battle worthy of the last episode. Also, what do you have? Armor of Destiny, Sword of Bloodshed. Okay, so you already basically have the good stuff. I just want to get rid of that Talisman of Endurance and replace it with a Talisman of Preservation, and I guess while it's unlikely that your Infernal Castellans will get any work, nonetheless, what we could do is we could give them Executioner's Axes if we wanted to. We could give them buffs. Do they need them? Probably not. You know what, let's give them a couple Helms of Discord. I think that might be a good idea, if I can find them in here. Helms of Discord, yes. If the enemy actually reaches them, then they can debuff them with that Helm of Discord debuff. And you know what? Do we have any? I was thinking about Warrior Banes, but we only have the one. I guess if we really wanted to, we'd get you Tormentor Swords as well. Why not? Why not get you Tormentor Swords and buff your... Oh, actually, you know what? We'll just put a Tormentor Sword on you, because you can fly around and debuff the enemy and force them to stay still. And do you want a Helm of Discord as well? Helms of Discord for everybody. Anyway, it looks good. You're prepared enough, I think, to deal with a single army. With that, I believe we can end the turn. We've moved Nabua. I believe Zatan is... Oh, actually, he's arrived. Oh! Zatan is here. Oh, man. If we could get a final battle for Zatan, that would be even more swell. He already has most of the items. Yeah, alright, if these guys go here and fight Zatan, oh, I would be very happy. Then we'd actually be able to get a final battle. For Zatan, I mean, in this campaign. Anyway, let's get the rest of this in the turn, and proceed to those enemies. Yobaz, oh, right, I was going to move you to the, to Brion to Occupied, but that's okay, you're still doing so. And I moved Nabua, right? I think I did. At least I assume I did. You don't need to move anymore because all the enemies at Jarna Grund are destroyed. Legion of Chaos, I don't really care about what you're doing. How are you guys not taking Altdorf yet? We gave them so many of those tier 5 settlements, and yet they, well, I guess they're approaching. Funnily enough, at this point in time, it may be that our allies would be able to take all the enemies for us without us lifting any further fingers. Or horns. And considering how much money we have, we could have just kept bankrolling them if we really, really felt like it. Just give them each 100,000 gold or something along those lines. Thragi, what you doing out there? You must join war against Bretonia? No, thanks. Alright, looks like another turn is up. I don't care about traits gained or stuff found. What I do care about is what's going on out here. Where did those elves go? Please don't tell me they sailed away. Zatan, are you able to reach them? Not quite. I guess the question is, will they land and go for Scaff, or will they fight Zatan? Well, Zatan, go out there. We're not going to send you with Scaff. Oh, we couldn't send them both together. If nah, they'd run, wouldn't they? They just run. Let them act how they like. I'd rather have a single army fight them than two. Zatan, can we give you anything? No, there's no way to power you up any further, is there? Guess we don't need the casualties captured post-battle. We saw that there was a Eye of Hashut banner that we could give you. What about the Oath of Contempt? Not that we need any of this, just because we can get it. We'd have to take away one of these to get the Oath of Contempt, which ain't too bad. But what would we take away? Debuff one of the war machines? It's not like they have head into melee very often. Let's do that, Oath of Contempt. I don't actually care that much about Eternal Servitude, but the movement range may still be of value to us. Not that I think it'll be super necessary in any of this. You could have some items. Let's give you a Helm of Discord while we're at it. Not that you need it either. Where is Helm of Discord? If I can find it in here, there you go. And Talisman, is there a Talisman that you can use that has a spell on it? Oh, Possessed Amulet has damage, not that we need that on you. We could give you a Malignant Totem. Let's do that, Malignant Totem, just to buff up our units, and you have the Talisman of Obsidian, which I think is fine, because we want you on the Bale Taurus, but also negating enemy magical attacks. The rest of that is okay. Alrighty, you stay there, Zatan. Maybe they'll attack us by the end turn, maybe they won't, but I guess we'll find out. Nabua, you've still got time. Travel time, I mean. You take Brion. Oh, it looks like our allies were going to take it. We could always trade it to... Well, why would we even care? Colonize the factory just so this guy can sail out. That looks good. Where is this little pathetic army? And they're basically dead. We just auto-resolve them. This is not a battle worth our time. Now let's head to the finale. The finale of the finale, I should say. If that makes any sense. Alrighty, and don't... Oh, there we go. Overlords of Zharr destroyed with that. Alright, getting that final victory real comprehensive. Or as comprehensive as we can make it. Alright, now, end the turn. Let's see what those elves do, shall we? And go ahead, fight Zatan, both of you together, at once. Heck, bring as many elven armies as you possibly can. I'm not sure how many full elven stacks it would actually take at this point in time to bring Zatan down. Eataine will not attack us. Okay, looks like they either landed or ran somewhere, but hopefully we can run them down. Military alliance for Nagaron. Just keep doing your thing. Keep fighting the elves. Once again, the reason I'm not doing the alliance with Nagaron or with the Drowned is because, well, actually, no, we're already allied with the Drowned. With the Nagaron is because it'll weaken them. And they don't really need any weakening. Yeah, we're down to 46 factions now with the destruction of the Overlords of Zharr, or I should say the second destruction, because they used to hold the Tower of Zharr. Where'd that army go? Huh. Interesting. It either got destroyed or it disappeared. Well, either way, Zatan, I guess you're going to fight Belharathoi as your final battle of the campaign. Looks like, oh no, are they going to siege Lothern? I see a full stack there. Ooh, that looks fun. Let's keep sending Nabua out there. Go, Nabua, go. I suppose if Lothern falls, we could try to go for Tori Vares, maybe? I want to see how hard of a target it is, though. I just want one final battle for Nabua as well. Well, either way, first of all, Zatan gets his final battle. Belharathoi will run, but who wouldn't run from Zatan's army? Alright, let's finish you. Zatan, have fun just once more. You have the... Oh, you have the Lichbone Pennant. Interesting. We'll put the Oath of Contempt, I guess, on... We don't actually get any use out of the Eye of Kashut, do we? Funnily enough. I mean, I guess we could give terror to this guy. If we really wanted to. Honestly, it doesn't matter. This can only go... Oh, it can only go on Lords of Heroes. Alright, fine. Put the Banner of Eternal Flame on... one of you. And then this on you. Something like that. Here we go. A last fight for Zatan. Alrighty, here we go, folks. Battle 4 of the end game, or the finale of the campaign, and Zatan the Black's last battle of the campaign as well. I don't think the enemy army stands much of a chance, but honestly, I don't think any army, really, that the AI could bring to bear would stand much of a chance against his, so we're going to enjoy what we can. There's also the benefit of the fact that we will be doing this fight without the bound army abilities / spells, and we will also have a slight disadvantage due to the Mega Mortars not being able to use their earthquake effect in the water. So a little bit of extra damage, or a little bit of extra efficiency for the enemy army, or advantage, there we go, for the enemy army. Anyway, it looks like we're going to rush forward. There's an enemy lord for Zatan to fight after all, and he is damn well going to get into that fight. He's going to get hit with the Tempest there, so he'll be starting to take aerial hits, and it looks like since the enemy has the Lure of Light, High Lore, high magic, that will have a little bit of an advantage. How much of an advantage? Not that much. It's only an archmage, and Zatan has brought it down to about half HP with a couple of blows. Those are some pretty devastating stats, and with heroic killing blow and cascading fire cloak up on him, he's at 1.3k weapon strength, and it's only a mage. It may be on a dragon, but a mage is still a mage and is not going to have much of a chance against Zatan. And there we go, and you're turning now, probably very low in HP. Mortars dropping on the sidelines as well, and Zatan will be able to bring you down in a hit or two more, I believe. Actually surprised that the mage didn't shatter earlier, but I believe that will shatter the mage. We're going to use that binding snare, sadistic snare, and the mage and the dragon alike. Zatan will break. Alrighty, in the meantime, let's check back on the regular battle. We've obviously dished out quite a bit of damage with our mortars. We do have 4 of them after all, and the magma cannon's working as well, as this is one of our fairly decently range or artillery rather heavy armies. Look at that. Look at that demon stung. You gotta love flamethrower units. That's what I've been wanting and what I've been talking about through the campaign, and too bad we can't build these. Honestly, if anything, this should probably be the actual weapon of the Iron Demon trains, maybe, whereas the Iron Demon separate units maybe should continue their cannonades rather, that work like blunderbusses. Anyway, the flamethrowers aside, the Ithilmar chariots going after Iron Demons is not going to work out well for them. Zatan has found himself another dragon to slay and will take off about a quarter of its HP in a single blow, and I'm sure he will bring it down fairly quickly. In fact, extremely quickly. There we go, another blow and it's down to half HP. Here come our Infernal Firesworn as well, throwing those grenades of theirs into the enemy cavalry and infantry by the looks of it, and they're going to get stuck in melee. Look at that. Keepers of the Flame as well, surprisingly, don't have fire resistance on them, so that's not going to go so well for them against the Smoldering Shields here, who are, let's see, I want to see the stat disparity, who outstat the enemy fairly quickly and do thundered armor and fire damage. Man, that, well, that's gonna hurt, let's say. Alright, in the meantime, all the other Ironsworn units are engaging as well. And I'm sure Zatan is killing off the enemy dragon, but, well, let's say that we've already seen him bring down a dragon, and I want to see his last fight also focus a little bit on his army as well. The Immortals bring down those spears fairly easily, and here come more Infernal Guard to chuck more blasting charges at enemy range units and to rush into melee whenever possible. Blunderbuss is working on Shadow Warriors, and ooh, wow, look at that. The Keepers of the Flame lost very handily against the Smoldering Shields here. Ouch. And away they go. Lovely. The enemy dragon running away from Zatan now, who's brought it down to an absolute tiny sliver of HP, will catch up and will bring it down from the skies. 2 dragons and a lord to his name, while the rest of his army overwhelmed the enemy and destroyed them all. And fantastic to see the Keepers of the Flame get ripped apart by a single unit of Infernal Ironsworn, who took not a lot of damage, let's say, and lost 2 units. Yeah, these guys did manage to kill off 2, and that's it. Absolutely fantastic. And there we go, Zatan. We hardly knew ye, my friend, but I believe you're now too far from any real fights, and, well, I wanted one last fight for you, so we'll get... we'll finish the episode off with the fight of Nabua. Alrighty, there we go. No bound army abilities, no damaging magic, just good old-fashioned beards and axes and hat supremacy. Lovely. All in melee, of course. Well, a little bit of range, mind you, but yeah, everything went nice. Zatan got to kill the enemy lord and a sun dragon in a duel, and that'll be that for his battle once again, or for his army, showing once again that really there's not much I can stand against him. Anyway, Zatan, I guess we can move you up here just in case, though I don't imagine that there will actually be any. Oh, there's that other army. Wait, can you auto-resolve this thing so we can't... Ah, there we go, so we don't have to deal with it anymore. This will probably damage our army a little bit, but oh, that was a bunch of... Ah, yeah, but the Phoenix Guard had no chance. Damn, I actually a little bit regret doing that. I maybe could have fought them, but once again, they still would have all died without any trouble. The bigger army that we just fought was the real fight anyway. I guess you're gonna have to land now to heal up a little bit. Not yourself so much as your Demon Stone. Oh, and there's Tyrion as well. Not that I think that you need to fight him, unless his stack is full of, like, Star Dragons or something silly like that. Anyway, let's end the turn again. Nabua, you've still got your one battle to fight. I want to send the Tech Thief up there as well to see whether the better target would be Lothern or Tori Vress. Really depends on what our allies do, though. Alright, Lord Scroll, what you want? You want us to join War? Yeah, everybody except us is fighting Bretonnia, but, well, let them deal with it. Also, have they cleared out the Empire yet? They're certainly all fighting Bretonnia and the Empire, but I see that they haven't knocked either of those factions out. Come on, there we go, there's the end turn. Let's see what we're looking at over here. First of all, the stupid little announcements. Don't care about all that. Ooh, Lifebane Blade. Regeneration, that's fantastic. If only either of the lords that are still close enough to fight. Yeah, okay, Lothern looks like it's gonna fall without our intervention. Damn, it had a pretty okay garrison. How does Tori Vress look right now? It's still tier 5 settlement, and ooh, let's see, Eltharion the Grim. Oh, that's a heck of an army. Alright, well, we've got places to be then. Can we move in march stance? It's a likelihood that he attacks us while in the sea while we're in full speed. I don't think so, because that's them in march stance and us in march stance. So we'll hit Trilinia, and just in case, though, we will give Nabua for the final battle, which will be a Tori Vress rather than Lothern. We will give him a bunch of items. So, first of all, wait, I want to see if you guys have your points assigned, but it looks like that you do. Okay, so, next up, Nabua. You have the Sword of Cain. Now let's get you some other stuff. You know what? Let's make you as strong of a fighter as possible by giving you... Well, Zatan probably no longer needs... Huh? We can't take the Oath of Contempt? Oh, interesting. I was... Really? Why? Zatan doesn't need it. Zatan needs nothing. If we take this off, and for example the Eye of Kashut, would we be able to give it to Nabua? Oath of Contempt, yes. Eye of Kashut, yes. He does have those Skullcracker Dreadquake mortars as well, so we could give him a Hellbound Standard, and... do we need to give him a Lichbone Pennant? Nah, why not? More so I want to give him the Banner of Eternal Flame, and then one more ancillary. Alright, come on. What ancillary do you want for the final fight? Orator... A leadership increase for Lord's army? Do we need that? And I honestly don't think we care that much. Oh, wait, there was something that might be useful. There was a unique one. Orc Shaman, well, I guess all of these are unique. Oh, but this would be on a caster, and Nabua is an overseer. Nothing else here would increase his personal prowess. Anyway, alright, I guess we'll just get the leadership thing. I saw it down here somewhere, but I can't remember what it was. And this one, Infernal Musician. There we go. This one ensures the Infernal Legion marches to a set rhythm and cadence on its way to the Mascot. I thought it might be funny like the Dark Elf ones, but alas. And oh, right, you actually have Lightning Strike, don't you? I forgot that I got that for you. Do you have any range units? No, just the Skullcrackers. And you have Blackshard Bulwark to buff up most of your army. I guess you don't really need anything else, do you? Alright, let's just give you Expeditious Endeavor, just with those last points, and Indomitable. Not that I think that you will have any... Oh, actually, wait. Give you Wretched Warhost, and Expeditious Endeavor. Fantastic. Now, it's your item time. In details, let's see, Talisman and Basic Armor. Well, the armor is going to be the Armor of Destiny. Obviously, the best one we have. If I can find it and get that Talisman of Preservation, survive for as long as you can while wielding that sword, and for your enchanted item, you're going to have that Potion of Healing. Like so. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to take the 2 Bull Centaurs, and we're going to give them both a Helm of Discord, just like we did before, but at the same time, we're going to give each of them we could go for an Obsidian Blade to make them hit even harder, or even better, we've got 2, where are they? Lifebane Blades, giving them regeneration. I think we'll do that, Lifebane Blades. Then, miscast base chance, you got double Vortex. Now we could give those to our other units. Your Talismans, I guess we give you... I don't know, give you Talisman of Preservations? Or do we do that for the mages? Yeah, we'll give you Talismans of Endurance, I think. Like so, and what do we need here? Enchanted item... What? We could do Potions of Toughness. I don't think we have any Potions of Healing left. If I could find them in here ever. Okay, wait, there. Wait. I saw them. No, we got a couple. You know what? We could do Potion of Healing here, and then we could take another one away from, for example, Sisset, who doesn't need it anymore. Sisset, yeah, I'll take that. We're not going to bother ancillarying these guys up. Let's give you that sword. And the reason I'm bothering with this is I do think it'll be a heck of a fight. Oh, wait, 1 second. Don't we have, not the Hammer of Smednir, but the Runic Bracers of Skavor. We can give Nabua the Runic Bracers of Skavor, giving him even more regeneration and immunity to contact effects as well. Yes. It'll give him a lot less ward save than the Armor of Destiny, mind you, but, you know. That's still good, I imagine. And, oh, you know what? Maybe we'll give you 2 Armors of Destiny instead of the other thing, and we'll give the Helms of Discord to the Demonsmith Sorcerers. Armor of Destiny for you, Lifebane Blade if I can find it. I would have done this between the episodes, but I had no way to know who would be fighting and what. And then lastly, Talisman, you're going to have that Talisman of Preservation. Fantastic, that's you 2, and then you 2 are going to have the same thing. I wish I could give you both things at the same time. You're gonna have an Executioner's Axe, and you're gonna have an Executioner's Axe as well. This is belonging to who? Namtar. I don't want to take it away from Namtar. Take it away from Sisset. Alright, there we go. Next up, the Black Gem of Nar gives us the ability to minus 100% melee attack, but make an enemy invulnerable. Could certainly be useful. Would that be more useful than... yeah, maybe. Disable an enemy unit? I just want to see what other options we have here. Miscast base chance, nice, but we probably don't need it. We also have that Dwemer Leech Orb, but I think we're okay. Oh, right, those Demon Flasks. We'll give you a Demon Flask, and I want to give you a Talisman with an ability rather than non-ability. Oh, there's also the other Trickster Shards. Ah, damn, is that better than the Vortex? We already have a bunch of spells. Duration 5 seconds. I don't know how much damage this does. You know what? I feel like the other Trickster Shard will probably come in more handy than the other thing. And then Possessed Amulet will make you hit harder. Malignant Totem, that's the one. Alright, and then you're also going to get a Malignant Totem and another Trickster Shard. 1 sec, guys. Nearly there. Gotta prep for the final battle after all. There's that Malignant Totem. There's the other Trickster Shard. And then for your armors... we're out of Armors of Destiny, but you can both have Trickster's Helms instead. Oh, wait, no, wait. It was Helms of Discord for debuffing, because you're probably not going to be in main fights. You can have a Helm of Discord as well. And then lastly, the Arcane Item. We could do Trickster Shards, but frankly, they don't... they probably don't... oh, you know what? Maybe other than the Executioner's Axe, we should do the... actually, they hit pretty hard, 702. That's fine. Forbidden Rod, yes. Let's do Forbidden Rod and double up on it. Fantastic. Mother Trickster Shard plus Forbidden Rod giving us more mana. That looks great to me. Nabua has now several sources of healing and the Sword of Cain. This is as ready as we're going to get. So skip the turn and head forward. Our last battle, guys. Oh right, Zatan is still moving, but you could just sit here. Probably should have just landed him there, but oh well. Alright, Chant, what do you want? This is not the time. Deal with Bretonnia yourselves, please. How many times have we told you? I would have declared war on Bretonnia, I just didn't want to deal with running around and trying to look for him or whatever. I'm really hoping that Eltharion doesn't try to run from Nabua. That would be really unfortunate if he did. Alright, come on now, come on now. Alright, let's see if Eltharion has abandoned Toriverus or not. Alright, foreign trespasser. Oh right, where are you? Are you a new army, a big army maybe? Nah, you're just a pathetic little army. This was an army that I was also interested in. It's kind of a pathetic one though. Are you able to reach it, by the way? I mean, Gorth, are you able to reach it? You're running. You would be able to reach it. Maybe we get Gorth the final fight as well. Nah, there we go. We don't need to go for all the way to Toriverus. And yeah, it's got some defenses, but I think the final battle for Nabua will be against Eltharion. That'll be the way to go, because without Eltharion garrisoning this place, it'll have no chance at all. Alright, so since we're giving Nabua the final fight, we're going to do the second final fight not for Zatan, but for Gorth the Cruel, Zatan's boss, who hasn't had a chance to actually fight. Granted, this army stands no chance, but I still want to see the air army in action at least one time. So, do this. Man, this episode's going to have like six battles? Ugh. I'm going to spend all day editing this thing? Okay, well, please don't be running too far away. Okay, good. We won't need the reinforcements, just Gorthy and what he's got going. Let's put this on, you know what, just because I find it funny, put this on the Frostworms. Here we go. Alright folks, here we go, the one and only battle of Gorth the Cruel, Zatan's Lord and Master in this campaign, and the fifth, I guess, out of 6 battles for the finale episode. I guess we've seen a lot of these air units fight, but we obviously haven't seen them fight in such numbers before, and I'm going to be very thankful to the heirs of Morcaine for giving us the opportunity for Gorth to fight, considering the rest of the, considering the endgame scenario meant that there were no OG dwarfs spawning right beside him. So it's lovely that the flyers will get to eat, and then they will do so in a blob. This army will be pretty adept at doing the whole Death Star thing, so they'll all drop down together in a massive blob on the enemy. Anybody who's damaged will get support from our Demon Smith sorcerers, and regardless of the non-usage of spells, I don't see the enemy having too much of a chance here. And there we go, gonna buff our flyers up with an overcast use of that Flaming Sword of Ruin. There we go, Hushit Steakhouse doing pretty well in there. Can't really see much, but everybody's just covered in ash and flame, which is just the way it should be. We can take a look at the enemy HP bars, but they're dropping pretty quickly. The bounce power is about 85% in our favor. More of those enemy Crypt Horrors moving into the fray. Try to overwhelm our piles of units, but that's just not going to happen. Maybe I should have forewent the Ash Storm because of all the effects it causes, but I feel like it still looks pretty darn cool. That's also a lot of Crypt Horrors, and you have to have a healthy respect for Crypt Horrors. I absolutely adore the unit myself and use it constantly when I play the Vampire Counts, who are my favorite faction in the first place. But this time, they're going to have to go. Right, and the crypt horrors begin dropping, and looks like pretty much everywhere the enemy army has shattered. The dragons... It looks like one of the frostworm's heads decided to bite the other head. Although it was just probably attacking one of the enemies. I gotta love these things as well. You get pets, and you get pets. There we go. Can't be mad at each other when you both get pets. I love the contrast of the blue of frostworms and the icy glow that they have in combination with the fiery bale Tauruses on the side. Anyway, there we go. Quick, easy little win for Gorth of the Cruel, but he had to have something, and the Death Star formation in this particular case worked out quite well. Against another army, an army of OG dwarves perhaps, that he would have thought it would have worked out a little bit differently, as rather than going for the Death Star, they would have probably doubled up on units, as in a Lamassu working together with a Taurus, and they would have gone after the enemy range units and artillery first before going after the enemy infantry. But, well, we've used the same tactic with all of our other armies that have a lot of flyers, so I guess we've already seen that in many ways. Anyway, nice little fight, Gorthy, and that's goodbye to you as well. Alrighty, very nice, Gorthy. Certainly they had no chance against the flying army, and it was a little bit of a blob tactic, but hey, we didn't use any spells, and well, at least no damaging spells, just buff spells, and we didn't use any army abilities, so we're good. Anyway, that was the penultimate battle, and now the ultimate battle, the final fight. It will be in Trilinia against Eltharion the Grim versus Nabua the Petitas. We've got our items, we've got everything we could possibly want. Let's see about finishing the campaign. I hope you guys have had your fill of battles this episode. Nabua, you already have magical damage. Let's instead give you the Eye of Hashut. Not that you really need it. You still have 1.3k weapon strength, and that's without buffs as well. We could also do a Banner of Eternal Flame on these guys, since they're buffing everybody, and the Oath of Contempt on one of the others. Magical attacks maybe on one of the bully boys, and one of you like so. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. We'll have lots and lots of buffs between the... I gave these guys brass cleavers, right? I think I did. Yes, I hope I did. Well, it's too late if I didn't. So, yeah. I don't see brass cleavers. Wait, no, wait, yeah, the reason not to give them brass cleavers was for the sundered armor, because they already have a weapon strength very high as well, so yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We also get plenty of buffs out of the War Mammoth and Blood Shrines. Anyway, I digress. Here we go, the final fight. Let's see if we can pull it off. Alrighty, here we go. The sixth and final battle of both the episode and the campaign, and I am absolutely ecstatic about the fact that we got this lovely little beach battle wherein there is no terrain, no woods or anything like that messing up the fight. Eltharion will be the last enemy lord that we face off against, and interestingly, the enemy army has a lot of range units, which will be a sort of counter to Nabua's army, which was built to be, considering it's the wielder of the Sword of Cain's army, the most, I don't know, bloodthirsty melee army that we have, with all of these Infernal Ironsworn buffed up by the War Mammoth War Shrines and the Blood Shrines as well. A very chaotic army with the Undivided and the Coronate support, in addition to the Hashut support as well. Fantastic. Well, let's get to it, folks. it's the final battle. May as well enjoy it as best we can. I'd love to see how effective our Ironsworn will be in battle. Their buffs are pretty darn intense there. We've got 70, basically 80 melee attack on these quote-unquote defensive units, 163 armor, sundering magical fire melee attacks at 80, and sundering missile attacks as well with their blasting charges and pretty decent weapon strength. Well, let's see how the enemy deals. Alrighty, well, we're going to start by annoying the enemy with those Dreadquakes as we do. Obviously, and just like the last 3 or whatever battles we had, we're not going to use any of our... we're not going to use any of our spell abilities, or, well, not spell abilities, army-bound abilities. Yes, the spell's not army-bound abilities. Eagle Claw Bolters, which would normally already be dead because we'd normally just destroy them with the... with spells, are firing on our Infernal Ironsworn and on Nabawa the Petitas here, who is not taking that much damage. And in fact, let's see, with the Sword of Cain at its current level, he's got 51% ward save, 20% physical, and 25% missile. So basically, he has a maximum amount of resistance to the enemy artillery, which explains why he's not really taking any damage, despite being focused down by the enemy artillery and those Athilmar chariot, or Tyrannok chariots, rather. Now, they're doing nothing. And that's a bad idea. The AI really should have picked another unit to fire on, one that doesn't have max resistances, because the mortars, just like our bound army abilities, will take care of those Eagle Claw Bolt throwers pretty darn quickly. Sorry to the crews of those mortars. Here come the last mortar shells that you will ever see. There we go, and the enemy crews are exploding. Looks like the first unit is done for, but the second one will probably take another volley. Enemy army continues to approach us and is now starting to get shots off with its Lothern Seaguard and range units, but it's now time to move into melee as well. And yes, we will be taking range hits as we approach the enemy, while Eltharion and Nabawa duel in the skies above. Alrighty, there in the background is the Vortex effect from the Sword of Cain, wreaking havoc upon the enemy range lines as archers and Lothern Seaguard and another Lothern Seaguard all take damage. Eltharion moves in and within the first few seconds takes about half damage from Nabawa's massive 1.4k weapon strength. He hits basically as hard as Zatan does, he just isn't nearly anywhere as, well, at least with all his buffs up anyway, he just isn't anywhere near as resistant to damage himself, but it's plenty enough to deal with Eltharion. And I'm glad we'll have another one last chance, I guess, to make good use of the Sword of Cain. And there we go, Eltharion is pretty much done for now. He's got 156 HP on him, and one more hit will bring him down. As we can see in the background, our War Mammoth, Mammoth with War Shrine, down goes Eltharion. Our Mammoth with War Shrine and our Blood Shrines are moving in. There's the enemy getting ripped apart by our Dreadquakes. And there we go. I want to slow down and watch a few of those blasting charges smash into those enemies as well as our Infernal Ironsworn wade into the fray. Would have loved to see a few more shots of these mammoths throughout the campaign, but we haven't had them. So, anyway. Alrighty, very, very nice. And of course, the enemy's got those Star Dragons, the scariest of the dragons on the field as well, and we'll have to deal with those. The enemy range units are having a horrible time because they are getting hit at the same time by the Dreadquakes as well as those blasting charges, while the Blood Shrines wreak havoc in the back line. And of course, once they move into melee, then they have to fight the Ironsworn. So it looks like a pretty big disparity in army quality here as the Ironsworn move out in a nice little sort of V formation and have pretty much broken most of the enemy range units. Ooh, over in the background, it looks like the enemy did manage to charge, the Silverhelms did manage to charge one of our trains, though whether they'll succeed with that, I'm not sure about. It is a Skullcracker, of course. And then Nabuwa has not only brought down Eltharion in single combat, he's now bringing a Star Dragon down in single combat as well, which looks like it's limping as it tries to get away, but it looks like it's going to fail at that as well. Down goes Star Dragon. And Silver Helms will in fact shatter, failing to do enough damage to the Skullcracker, and it looks like the rest of the army will shatter as well, with the exception of the Spire Guard of Tori Varesk here, which are unbreakable. Alrighty, well, let's get a few final shots of the Blood Shrine spinning to win, and the Mammoth doing a little bit of work as the last of the Infernal Ironsworn move in to bring a few more finishing blows down onto those Spire Guard. Alright, and we're actually going to back these two off. I just want to see the Infernal Ironsworn work together with the buffs that they get from the War Mammoth and stuff. Favor of the Ruinous Powers and Giver of Glory. These guys currently have 22 physical resistance, and I believe it can climb up to 30 as well, which is fairly significant. And then there's Frenzy and the other buffs that they have. Alrighty, Spire Guard are actually trying to chase the Mammoth, though, perhaps because they have anti-large, and they wanted to dish out more damage to the Mammoth, but this is just allowing the Ironsworn to bring them down. Alright. Pretty darn decent sixth and final battle, I would say. And certainly showed the superiority of both Nabuwa in his wielding of the Sword of Cain, and nice blasting charges, and the Infernal Ironsworn to whatever they were facing off against. There we are, that is... oh, no, okay, now it's done. That is the last of the Spire Guard done, the last battle of the campaign, complete as a decisive victory. And there you have it, folks. Eltharion the Grim, just like his Star Dragon, stood no chance, whether it was against Nabuwa himself or our Bull Centaurs, two of which brought down one of those Star Dragons without too much trouble either. Absolutely fantastic, and once again, no damaging spells, no army abilities, just good old-fashioned Infernal Ironsworn wreck and face while Nabuwa watched. Ah, glorious. Poor Eltharion. Well, there we go, folks. That was the final battle of the campaign. I see no reason to continue just auto-resolving piles and piles of enemies, as nobody stands any kind of further chance against us. This is, I think, a very, very comprehensive victory. We've gotten all four. Well, actually, we got them quite a while ago, but we've got the short, long, domination, and ultimate campaign victories. So, a supreme victory for Zatan and the Chaos Dwarfs. Thanks to all of you for staying with this campaign so long. It certainly did run to be a pretty long one, but, well, at least we got to try a lot of things, even if it wasn't the endgame scenario that we were originally hoping for. Anyway, stay tuned for the next one. Thanks again. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.